of Auburn that you could get. So I've been going to like the Auburn Alano Club and meetings down there in that area, and a few in Tacoma and Edgewood, and the what is that lodge in Puyallup? Meeker Group. They finally found a place in Puyallup. Anyway, I get magnetized to people because I see that they are really wanting to jump in. And I see that Joey is one of those people that has jumped in and he's like just going into service work like he's enjoying it and stuff. He's even going to district stuff to learn stuff. And so I'm just happy to bring him here to show him intergroup, because I knew he would be excited about AA.
All right. Hi, my name is Joey, and I'm an alcoholic and an addict. I set a timer because when I do this, they usually have to be like, cut up. They said, you want to speak for 15 minutes today? I was like, only 15 minutes, you guys? Now I feel like I was meant to be here today, like maybe manipulated a little bit into doing this. I don't know, maybe. So, but I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity to be here today. Really, like I really appreciate everything this program has to offer, and it's just been a blessing. It's been a God-gifted program since the beginning for me. Like I had a friend tell me that like he got sober by accident, and I'm like, man, I feel the same way, man. I kind of got forced into this, and it just started to become something really good. And so I always tell the new people, like they're like, I don't know what to say. I'm like, man, tell us your story, man. You're the only one that knows it. So that's what I plan on doing, So it started off with me, like my first memory I can remember is like my father being like very abusive, and when I bring up my father, like the first words that come to my mind are "do unto others as you would have them do to you," because he literally beat that into me as a kid. And then when I did, then my brother would get it, and then my mom would get it for trying to stop him. And so my dad was a diabetic, prescription pill addict. Alcoholism runs on my mom's side of the family. My mom's still she's like the kind that can drink and set it down. I don't Thanksgiving's gonna be real interesting for me. I set aside an hour for these people, and I'm going to the club, right? So I can only handle so much of it, and I don't want to talk down to nobody from some spiritual hilltop, and I feel like I need to, and it gets just real frustrating and get a lot of anxiety when that happens. So, but thing was just like my dad had he was diabetic, so there was a lot of needles too around the house and whatnot. I mean, they were in the containers and whatnot, but the thing is like I think it kind of desensitized me to that a little bit, even though I never really liked them getting shots and whatnot. I don't think anybody does. But I lost my father when I was 14, and my mom couldn't control me, and I was like, I didn't realize at the time that I was still looking for guidance and acceptance as a teenager. And so I gravitated towards like gangs and those kind of people. And guess what? The only requirement to hang out with them was to use and drink whatever they were using and drinking. And so off I go, like following the blind mice, doing whatever they said to do, following these bad suggestions, right? And so it's like the complete opposite of the program, right? So but it got me into a lot of trouble. I got my first DUI when I was 26, and I didn't even think I had a problem then, because for me it was still fun to drink and whatnot. And then fast forward to a year later after that, I had kind of stopped my drinking a little bit, and then I had this girlfriend. She went to a coma. I got my wisdom teeth removed. And then I got prescribed, and I went in for 3 surgeries, and I had Percocets for like months there, like over the course of like 4 or 5 months. And then my best friend from grade school, he was smoking OxyContin at the time, and then I was like, I'm already taking Oxy, so I started smoking that. And then next thing I know, years later, I'd say about 10 years ago, I'm sitting on a couch with a needle in my arm, and I'm like, how did I get here? And so. That's what I love about the program, because it says no matter how far down the scale we have gone, we can see how our experience can benefit others. And like, all I did was substitute alcohol to another drug. All I did was switch to something else. And the thing is when I drank alcoholically though. Like I drank to excess, believe me. And so, and I got my second DUI a few years ago. And, every time I got those, I was like so upset that I got this and what I could have done differently, this and that. I was on the run from the cops for a minute there. And then they caught me in Auburn and I went to jail. And it's what I mean by accident, right? So like, and then my first AA meeting was in jail. And the only reason why I went was to get out of my jail cell for 1 hour. And I still didn't even realize that was a spiritual program then. I was telling people, like my sponsee, earlier today. I have sponsees today. I have 2 sponsees. They're doing really good. I keep getting a couple, like another one, but that kind of, fall off kind of thing. So I was telling them, like, I was like, like what I seen of like AA from like movies and whatnot, or TV or whatever. Like I would see like somebody literally standing here and be like, "Hi, my name is blah blah blah, and I'm an alcoholic," and it looked horrible, right? Like it was just like, I hope I don't end up there, right? Like it was like, I hope that's not what I get sentenced to at some point in my life. I'm like, here I am, right? And it's been like a really good experience for me because it's been like not that way. This has been like a blessing to me. Like I've had more fun clean and sober now than I can't even think any time in my life. Like I actually get to remember things. Like I wake up in the morning sometimes after I do the karaoke. I'm the DJ at the South Tingolano Club, and they give me that opportunity to do that. They trust me with the microphone. It's funny, you guys. So there's times where like I had so much fun. I wake up in the morning, I'm like, that really happened last night, and I'm like, I'm clean and sober. I'm not hungover, and I can remember everything. It's awesome. It's a great experience for me. So I always tell people, people always ask me like, how are you so happy? And I'm like, because it was that bad. It was that bad, man. I was living homeless for over 10 years there. And it just, to be able to have another opportunity at life, like a second opportunity. I really look at this as a second lease on life. And like, I'm running with it, man. Like I'm diving in, I'm doing things. You guys have taught me so much. Like I love the progress over perfection because when I was a kid, my father would say, like he was so abusive to me that if I didn't do something right, I wouldn't even attempt it. Like I would shut down. If I couldn't do something perfect, I wouldn't even try to do it. So and I'm also learning that being smart is actually a learning disability, right? Like so. Why is it? It's like everything that I'm learning and I know is like it's the complete opposite, like. It's so like you hear the word surrender and you think that's it, I'm giving up, I'm losing, right? That's what we like to associate with like losing, but it's like I'm coming to believe and know that surrender is actually winning. Wow. And it's like actually to give, and so I was just thinking about that driving here. It was like, how people, I love driving and I love people that complain about the driving. And I'm like, that is the best opportunity to practice all of these principles. They want to do some step work, drive, man. Like I'm serious. Like I practice in surrender. I gotta pause. I gotta be tolerant. I gotta be patient, and I gotta give, and I'm not perfect, because I'll turn and be like this, and I'm like, oh, there goes one of those character defects, right? Like still working on that one, right? So, but I'm like a really big advocate of like that Rule 62. It's one of my favorite ones. Like I said, when newcomers come in and they don't see us having fun, why would they want to stick around? I got this really cool coin. It's like a little make our merchandiser got it for me. It's a little pink one, says Rule 62 and whatnot. And I always I got to go to area. I got to see you at area. It's like, oh, I don't get to meet people. I'm still waiting to meet this mystical unicorn named Laura, or whatever. I keep hearing her name and everything, and I'm like, I don't ever get to meet this person. I keep hearing her name though, And but it's really cool, like, cause where was I going with that? So like anyways, like I get into the program, like we'll go into area, yeah. Like I got to talk in front of like so many people, and I was like, okay, I remember this is funny. So like I was like waiting to, like speak my group conscience, get that little 2-minute timer and everything, and I'm like, I'm getting like really nervous, right? I'm like, hey, so my name's Joey, right? So I'm from District 32. I'm like, just trying to remember all that stuff was like enough. Like I was like, and actually did all right, So today I put myself in uncomfortable positions because I recognize that as growth today. And before I would put myself in I say healthy, uncomfortable positions now because before I would put myself in very unhealthy, uncomfortable positions. And I have scars to prove it. Like I have this scar right here. That was a pistol whip from being in a hotel room with the wrong people. And it's what I love about the program. I get to ask myself, what was my part in that, right? Like, well, maybe I shouldn't be hanging out with these people and these sort of people in these seedy places, right? Lesson learned. Now I get to look in the mirror every day and see that scar and be like, I used to hate it, but now I love it because it's a reminder of where I was and where I don't want to be and how far I've come. I wasn't prepared for this, but like the cool thing is like, even I was when I was in treatment, I became the president of my hall. Surprise, right? Like I became president of my hall, and my best friend was my vice president. There was 2 halls, and we were supposed to host the meetings, right? And I've never done this before. My best friend's been to AA meetings before. He's like, when we first got there, was a guy that was hosting it, and he was like, after everybody shared, he's all like, he would like try to fix them, like this is what you need to do, this and that. And I never forget this. My friend was like, that's crosstalk. We don't do that in real meetings. And so I'm like, okay, and then, but I remember it wasn't even our turn to do it, and the other hall didn't show up to do it. So I come walking in the room, and everybody's looking at me. I've never even done it before, and I'm like, this was my first lesson to always be ready, right? So I had to get. I got everything out, got everything ready, passed out readings, whatever. I'm like, oh, I got the little syllabus thing. I was like, this is pretty easy. I just got to read this. Okay, cool. Like that was my first lesson in that. So now I jump in, I'm ready to go. Like any moment's notice. And my best friend from treatment, man, he was awesome. And then, like I said, my first AA meeting was in jail, and I met my sponsor there. And I know how that sounds, but he brought the meeting into the jail and got to go home at the end of the night, right? And he's my sponsor today and whatnot. And I remember my best friend from treatment was like, when we got out, like I was like going to the club, whatever, going to the AA meetings, and he would be like, you got to get a sponsor, start working the steps or you're going to die. I was like, I'm looking for somebody specific, man, And so I did find him eventually, like probably a month later, and worked the steps with him. We worked the traditions. We're going to be starting on the concepts, and I'm even going to be working with my DCM on that too. So, we got to wrap it up pretty soon here. So, I think the coolest thing about this now is like the program. I found guidance and acceptance, and the only requirement now is a desire not to drink. And I think that's the coolest thing ever, you guys. Thank you. I'm Joey. That's all I got for you.